Dachshunds vs. Corgis. These are both small, long-bodied dogs with short legs and outgoing natures. They make excellent pets, yet Dachshunds and Corgis were initially bred for very different purposes. The Dachshund is a hunting breed with a fearless and confident temperament, while the Corgi is the smallest working breed primarily used for herding cattle. Corgis and Dachshunds are versatile breeds with some things in common and many dissimilarities in temperament, grooming needs, and trainability that potential owners need to be aware of. Although they are pretty similar in many ways, there are also quite a few differences between these two breeds that you will learn about in this video. So let's take a look at the most important things to know about these breeds. Number 1. Their origins. Despite their friendly face and little frame, the Dachshund was bred as a ferocious hunter. This hound first appeared around 400 years ago in Germany. Their low-slung, slender bodies along with their clever and courageous personalities made them formidable adversaries for badgers, foxes, and hares. Some packs of larger Dachshunds were even used for hunting wild boar. The Dachshund started becoming a household pet in the 1800s. This version of the breed became smaller in size, but their large personalities have remained. These dogs quickly won over the people's hearts, including royalties such as Queen Victoria. The breed then made its debut in America towards the end of the 19th century. Their popularity declined during the World Wars due to the heavy use of propaganda featuring them, but they bounced back in the 1950s and have been a fan favorite ever since. Also, although mostly kept as pets in the US, Dachshunds are still used for hunting in Europe today. On the other hand, we have Corgis. Although we are looking at them from a general point of view in this video, there are actually two types of Corgis: the Pembroke Welsh Corgis and the Cardigan Welsh Corgi. They look and act similarly and were even developed for the same purpose fairly close to one another. However, the two breeds were actually created at different times and come from separate lineages. The Cardigan version is much older, originating from a German Teckel lineage that was brought to Wales with the Celts around 1200 BC. Meanwhile, the Pembroke originated with the Nordic Spitz and arrived in Wales with the Vikings in around 1000 AD. You'll probably notice that the Cardigan has a heavier build and a longer fox-like undocked tail. They're still very similar though, and in Welsh, cor means dwarf and gi means dog. Some canine historians also believe the origin of Corgi is derived from Celtic word for dog, cergi. Regardless, both types of Corgi were bred to help herd cattle and sheep, where their short stature and great stamina helped them avoid being kicked by fast-moving animals, and their watchful nature enabled them to respond to trouble at a moment's notice. Like the Dachshund, they are mostly house pets nowadays, with the most famous of those belonging to Queen Elizabeth II, who owned 30 of them over the years, helping to spread the popularity worldwide. Number 2. Their personality. With their cute looks and goofy personalities, it may be surprised that Dachshunds were bred initially as ferocious hunters. They were intended to hunt badgers, so they are far from being timid little lapdogs. They are very vocal and highly predatory, even if they are cute as a button. Though not aggressive with humans, Dachshunds can be irritable and reactive if they are messed around with too much. They are enthusiastic with a loud, deep howl and will sound the alarm at the sight of any guests. Dachshunds are also very playful and need a decent amount of social attention daily. They also tend to be diggers and burrowers, so you may find them digging up the backyard or burrowing into blankets and bed. Speaking of beds, Dachsies are pretty lazy dogs and will often be happier snuggling down next to you rather than going for a walk. Also, despite their reputation as being stubborn and mischievous, Dachsies can take to obedience training quite well. Overall, these rambunctious little hounds are fun to be around and will certainly brighten your day. Meanwhile, the wide-open smile of a Corgi is an external example of their friendly disposition. They are caring and sweet-natured and bond well with children, adults, other dogs, and even cats. This breed is smart, loving, and a little bit naughty. To have a Corgi, you must have a sense of humor. They will test you and push you to your limit, but if you can laugh and have fun, they'll give you their all. They're also loyal, fun-loving, and willful dogs that love their toys and interacting with their people. Because they are watchful over their families and tend to bark, Corgis can make good home alarm systems, though that bark alarm will sound off at anything they deem suspicious, including the delivery person or a squirrel. Their natural herding instincts and physical endurance also make them quite active dogs, so they're always ready to go on the next adventure with you. Number 3. Their appearance. Beloved worldwide for its short and stout form, the Dachshund stands much longer than it does tall. They have many distinct kinds of coat styles and coloring, and they are all equally adorable. Dachsies can have smooth, wire-haired, or long-haired coats. Once upon a time, all Dachshunds used to have smooth coats, and this variety is still the most popular. Breeders probably crossed smooth Dachshunds with other dog breeds to create the other coat varieties. The smooth-haired Dachshunds are silky, short-furred pups, whereas the wire-haired Dachshunds have more bristly and shaggy-looking coats. Meanwhile, long-haired Dachshunds are exactly what they sound like: long, smooth-haired dogs. The list of standard coat colors the AKC recognizes is also huge and includes various combinations of black, brown, cream, and tan, as well as red, fawn, and the unusually named Wheaten and Wild Boar. Additionally, solid and bicolor coated smooth Dachshunds usually have dark eyes, while dappled Dachshunds often have striking partially or wholly blue eyes. The Corgi is equally a very recognizable dog, with their stout little bodies and "Hi, how are you?" expressions making them an immediate charmer. They have a foxy face with perky ears, a robust body, and short legs, all finished off with a dense coat around the shoulders and haunches. That medium to thick double coat comes in 4 standard colors: black and tan, fawn, red, or sable. Some Corgis might also have brindle accents, flecks of another color within the top coat. One of the primary characteristics of a Corgi is a long, sturdy body with stubby, slightly curved legs. This means they're part of a line of canines known as the chondrodiplastic breeds, which have the evolutionary gene mutation that created dwarfism. As a result, Corgis are cousins of other long-backed dogs such as Dachshunds, Basset Hounds, and Pekingese. Do you like this video? If so, it would make our day if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss new videos and can learn more about dogs every day. Dog number 4, their trainability. As hunting dogs, Dachshunds were bred to be very focused and independent-minded on the hunt. But that doesn't mean they're impossible to train. You will find that this breed is eager to learn most obedience training. Just remember to keep things positive and fun. It's all about leaning into the dog's strengths. Dachshunds are natural predators, so get a toy out for training and use that as a reward. They were also bred to bark, and they're loud. Their bark can be piercing, so they should be trained out of unnecessary yowling as early as possible. It is worth noting that Dachshunds are also notoriously slow to house train and may take up to a year to understand the concept. It's suggested you teach them to use a piddle pad indoors when it's too cold or your pet is feeling too lazy to go outside. With Corgis, their herding instincts and quick ability to learn mean that they're at their best with plenty of diverse and engaging tasks to keep them mentally and physically active. They're not the most naturally obedient dogs, but they are generally responsive and can excel in many different sports, as long as their owners keep things fun and interesting. Corgi puppies are pretty smart and learn tricks quickly. As they get older, they will enjoy trying new things, and despite being low to the ground, they are quick, so consider agility training. You can also tap into their natural herding ability with trials and scent work too. Number 5, the time investment needed. For starters, you need to know that Dachshunds may need special concessions for getting around the house, such as steps or a ramp up to furniture to mitigate jumping. Too much jumping can seriously injure a Dachshund's hips and back, so they may also need to be lifted frequently. The Dachshund coat varieties all have slightly different grooming needs. All 3 types are low shedding, low odor, and remain relatively clean, although the time spent outdoors through their paws may need attention after a vigorous digging session. All Dachshunds should be bathed no more than once a month. Any more and their sensitive skin can dry out. Though energetic, the Dachshund is entirely content hanging out inside, so long as their owner is near and they get plenty of playtime. As we've mentioned, this breed tends to be quite lazy, so owners must encourage daily exercise. Twice daily walks of around half a mile each should be fine to keep them healthy. Dachshunds also don't do very well in cold conditions, so they will probably need to wear a coat when going outside for extended periods in winter. With Corgis, grooming is the most significant part of caring for them. They have a very thick, weatherproof double coat, which, while ideal for the wet climate of Wales, sheds a lot. So weekly brushing to remove excess hair is needed. They're also seasonal shedders, meaning you'll have more hair to deal with in the spring and fall. Regular baths help with this somewhat. Additionally, early socialization helps Corgi puppies be better companions for the whole family, enabling them to adapt well to other people and animals. They're pretty energetic dogs, so frequent romps at dog parks are a fantastic option if you don't have a fenced backyard. They are also prone to activities like chewing and digging if left alone for too long without interaction or things to do. Establishing their areas, such as dedicated sandbox with buried treat toys or coordinating fun games to play, will help keep this boisterous pup entertained and happy. Number 6, the cost of ownership. Dachshund puppies may vary considerably from one type to another, and so does the price. The law of supply and demand really applies here. Some Dachsies are more popular than others based on their coat textures and colors. This means that with a Dachshund puppy, you're looking at spending anywhere from $200 to $3,500. Once you have your Dachshund, there are also a few things you need to buy and invest in. On average, these one-time miscellaneous pet expenses would be around $1,500. After that, considering the price of food and grooming, the general outlay adds up to about $135 per month. Corgis are among the most popular dog breeds in the United States. Due to this, breeders usually have a wait list of about 6 months to over a year and require a $200 deposit from interested pet parents. If purchasing through a breeder, you can expect to pay between $500 and $3,000 for a Pembroke or a Cardigan Corgi puppy. You can also adopt a Corgi from an animal shelter or rescue, which would cost much less than buying from a breeder. Adoption fees range from $50 to $350 and typically include vaccinations, microchips, and spay-neuter procedures. There's also regular grooming, pet food, and insurance to consider. So after initial costs, you usually look at about $140 per month. So what do you think so far? Do you prefer the Dachshund or the Corgi? Stay tuned for more. And if you are interested in other dog comparisons, check out some of our playlists and discover even more information about dogs. Number 7. Their health. Dachshunds are considered a generally healthy breed with a 12 to 16 years lifespan. However, the breed's long body can lead to serious issues later in life. The Dachshund Club of America strongly recommends breeders complete very thorough cardiac, patella, and eye exams. It's essential for owners to be aware of these common concerns when considering this breed. Dachshunds are also prone to obesity, leading to severe back problems over time. Sticking to a strict diet and ensuring proper daily exercise is essential. It's also important not to allow Dachshunds to jump on or off furniture or in or out of cars, because it can cause slip discs. Lastly, their floppy ears are also prone to infections, so they must be checked regularly. When it comes to Corgis, they are relatively healthy and will live to be 12 to 15 years old. Like the Dachshunds, they are a long-backed breed, so are inherently more prone to growth abnormalities and invertebral disc disease, but much less so than the Dachshund. Some Corgis have the potential for weight gain, so it's crucial to keep treats in moderation and ensure they get plenty of exercise. As they age, installing a foldable ramp into the trunk of your car or on steep porch steps, and even to the bed, can be a good idea to reduce the risk of back injuries. Number 8. The best home for them. Dachshunds tend to have very independent personalities, but this doesn't mean they don't like to join in with family fun. They are a small breed and can be very good with children, although they may need additional training and socialization to be calm around those they don't know. A Dachshund is an excellent fit for a single adult, a small family, and the elderly alike, as long as their owner is patient and has a good sense of humor to match this pup's spunky attitude. It's essential to consider your lifestyle before committing to any dog. Still, if you are moderately active and looking for a lovable companion, a Dachshund is a brilliant fit for you. Meanwhile, Corgis do well in any environment, from a small city apartment to farm life, as long as they are given the mental stimulation they deserve. But keep in mind, they're pretty talkative. They do bark, although not excessively, but they tend to have something to say pretty often, and are definitely not a quiet breed. Corgis also have a moderately thick coat that protects them from extreme weather, but they are still good indoor dogs that enjoy curling up on your bed or your couch just as much as a hike or a long walk. Because of their short legs, they are not built to keep up with bikes. This means they may not be suitable for very active owners, but for those who like to go for decent countryside walks as well as relax by the fire, a Corgi is an outstanding option.